Our next guest for UnPolitics is one of the most eloquent speakers when it comes to the parliament. He hasn't spoken much since his party, the RJD, lost the election in Bihar. We have with us our next guest, Mr. Manoj Jha. Welcome, sir. It's a privilege. Thank you for joining us in UnPolitics. Thank you for taking the time out. Come, sir.
I asked them, UnPolitics has something to do with politics. उन्होंने कहा नहीं वो तो होता है.
Come, sir. Come.
Thank you so much.
They needed you as a face who was an intellectual in that space, could talk well, great orator, represent the party superbly. And for you, you get yourself a Rajya Sabha and you move on from there on.
We have been a victim of perception.
Manoj Jha, the academic, has romanticized and whitewashed what was a grave reality in Bihar, which was Jungle Raj, where generations suffered.
We should talk on the database. Why don't we talk about it?
Manoj ji, how do you tabulate fear on a data line?
I didn't come to parliament to be a minister. I came to parliament to convey a message. People who must have thought of our parliament, they would not have thought that one day this shall be the daily image of Indian parliament. Why shouldn't election commission appear as the election commission of India? When you lose an election, you become an orphan. When you win an election, there is no dearth of parents. If I cannot speak about what caste privilege means to upper caste, I think it would be a civilizational crime.
Welcome to UnPolitics. Thank you for taking the time out.
Finally,
I know elections are over. You went through a bit of your own personal crisis with your family. I hope things are better. But thank you for taking the time out.
Thank you so much.
Manoj. And, such is the nature of our show, Manoj, that our guests introduce themselves. I'm sure you're used to very rich introductions for somebody as eloquent as you. So, I can come up with very flowery terms to introduce you, in the kind of speeches that you have made, in the kind of intellectual space that you acquire. But I will ask you to introduce yourself to our viewers and listeners.
Just as an anecdotal story, Amrita Preetam, we all are aware.
It's one of my favorites.
Amrita Preetam, if I remember correctly, approached Khushwant Singh and said that I want to write my autobiography. Khushwant Singh said, what is there in your life? It can come on a revenue stamp. So, how should I introduce myself? It can be said on a revenue stamp. Somebody who had a dream of making political interventions, not necessarily from the power corridors. But I'll tell you frankly, since my childhood, I saw myself as a voice of opposition. That time, Congress was the dominant party. So that was my imagination, my studies, subsequently my teaching, and whatever it has been shaped. This is how I have been shaped.
Manoj, some would say that at that point of time, a party which had a very rural strongman base needed a face like you, who was intellectual, who was, a great orator. You were the antithesis of the RJD. Even if today I'm to look at you and we're standing in 2025, I would still think that you and the RJD just don't quite go together in terms of the image of it all. So many thought it was symbiotic, if I complete my question, that they needed you as a face who was an intellectual in that space, could talk well, great orator, represent the party superbly. And for you, you get yourself a Rajya Sabha and you move on from there on.
Look, Preeti ji, this is a very simplistic reduction, almost A plus B whole square types. A square, B
you
square, 2AB.
You can accuse me of that. Right.
But I'll tell you, I fundamentally disagree. I was certainly not the only intellectual wanting to join RJD. I was certainly not the only person who spoke well. I was certainly not the only one available from my state who could join RJD. And I think these are all, I have said
Manoj,
it.
I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you. I'll allow you to finish it, but you're one of the finest orators and
Look,
one of the most eloquent orators that the parliament has seen in recent history.
I'll tell you, Preeti ji, for that also, I must tell you, till date, neither Laluji nor Tejaswi ji has ever told me, speak this and don't speak that. That kind of freedom, many other political parties and their spokesperson or their members of parliament will never be able to realize. Second important thing which I must put it on record, and I've said it earlier, that RJD never had the services of some any Joshi ji to enter into perception management. It's a very organic kind of political outfit. Today we have lost, I agree. But those people who are rushing to say that it's over, I'll tell them, wait, sir, give us some time. And this is what our RJD is. It has even in defeat, we are close to 40% votes. 40% votes just don't evaporate in thin air. So I would say that we have been a victim of perception management. Right now when we are talking in Bihar in last 72 hours, how many murders, how many rapes have taken place? It's all over the news. But the moment we are there, a particular kind of song is played 24/7. Even the Jungle Raj. I'll just take 30 seconds and tell you. It was about a municipal job by the Patna High Court. It was about Patna Municipal Corporation. But then the people who craft or control perception management, they blamed the entire state. We didn't have control over lots of institutions. Those were also the years which had unsettled those who used to be very powerful before that. So they had their own kind of politics to play. They played well.
Manoj, to give Jungle Raj as just political perception and propaganda, the question could be that Manoj Jha, the academic, has romanticized and whitewashed what was a grave reality in Bihar, which was Jungle Raj, where generations suffered.
Preeti ji.
And you've just intellectualized and romanticized it.
Preeti ji, if I was doing just intellectual jugglery, you would have challenged me. I would tell you, let's have data. 1990 to 2005. 2005 to 2020. They have just begun 25 onwards. Let's have data. Let's make columns and discuss that.
Manoj,
when you have database, we should talk on the database. Why don't we talk about it?
Manoj, how do you tabulate fear on a data line? A sense of fear which was ingrained generations after generations for a period of time. I understand. I actually do believe, at the cost of being castigated, I do believe that at one point of time, RJD was the political and social necessity where Bihar was concerned. But what I find difficult to understand is when intelligent, far more intelligent than I and most people, men like you, choose to, skim over what were ground realities and make me look at data where you can't tabulate fear on data. There was a sense, you've got to, if you're not going to accept it,
let's understand, Preeti ji. There are two components of fear. One is tangible fear. Second is intangible fear. Right? For the tangible fear, you should have the database. For intangible fear, one can't do anything.
Manoj,
now, intangible fear is created by, that's what I'm saying. That leave aside our rule from 1990, when Tejaswi ji was Deputy CM with Nitish Kumar. Look at the tone of the media in those 17 months. Forget media, the tone of our Home Minister about those 17 months. What had changed? Nothing. Nitish ji was the CM. Tejaswi ji was the Deputy CM. Certain highly positive things happened. On a scale of lakhs, recruitment had never taken place. That's why I say we understand people whom we are fighting. They are very powerful in narrative management.